So did you park that down there? Which car do you have?
This is Steven, aka SMKJR. He's from a small town in Massachusetts. But after moving to Bushwick, Brooklyn, he kind of got into graffiti photography. Not just casually shooting it, but obsessively hunting for new tags and pieces. Every wall, truck, dumpster, billboard, everything is documented. On most weekends, at the crack of dawn, he and two buddies head out across the city, searching for graffiti that's appeared since their last hunt. They do it just for fun, the same way another group of guys might go fishing. But it's not just them that do it. I've heard stories about trespassing into abandoned buildings, getting chased by homeless people and security guards, following trucks for miles, climbing buildings, whatever it took. I went on a few missions with him, and that's how I ended up meeting the other Graff Hunters you'll see in this video.
Alright, dude. I should have brought my umbrellas in the car.
Yeah, we're all umbrellas. No, dude. How's it going, man?
See, so this wasn't here last week. This. So yeah, so see these ones over there, those were new last week, and some dude came through and already trashed two of them. And those things are nice. Yeah, see, that spot right there is pretty nice. I tell you, this bastard is clever. So watch him go to the spot in room 2 over here. It's fucking awesome. Oh damn, it's like published in the water. Do you have boots on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all water now. Damn. You can't even go in here. Damn, it's crazy. See that cloth piece in the dark?
Yeah.
But in this whole room there's a couple of like shits like this. Wow, the last time I was in here it was much brighter. Damn. I'm not trying to like sit around like spend 20 minutes to like perfect this, like, you know. My ADD and OCD hit in way before that shit. It's your light, bro. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, sluts. Look at this shit, son. You love this. Look at that shit, son. Oh shit, that was fucking loud. Look at that shit, son. Like, come on. It's just witty, you know? Motherfucker, highlight reel for this kid. Everyone needs a hobby, and if it's not, it just, you know, I've spent my time doing a hell of a lot worse things. I like breaking the law, and I like kind of doing things I'm not supposed to do, and this is like a almost, you know, tolerable way to do that kind of shit, you know, with, and it's free too, you know, not breaking in that building was free, you know, so it's a free hobby. You bring your camera, take some pictures, some creative shit, and you know, that's that, you know, you know. You know. Oh, is that an original DG back there? Oh.
An original what?
DG is DG1. Once you walk all the way down, you might as well get a close-up photo of the shit. Like, you know, like right when I walked in there, like I'm not doing anything wrong right now, but you know, so if someone was to come out and tell me to leave, that's fine, you know, and I don't have any, like, you do one illegal thing at a time. So if I'm gonna trespass, that's all I will do. So, you know, no one's like, you know, don't bring any booze or weed on, you know, I don't got any weed on me, so I don't give a fuck. Like, what is he gonna do? I don't have any spray paint. I'm not painting anything. So I don't really care, or like I'm not really nervous when I walk into some of these spots because, like, what are they gonna do? Tell me to leave? That's fine. So right there was nice to get those shots because Joe did it. Joe's gonna be burnt on that shit. I'd be like, yeah, man, I fucking some original DGs, and he will come back and shoot that. And he's like, man, shit, I could have saved. Flash, whatever, you know. I don't. It's all about, you know, keeping that spot. You know, it's certain people that know the spot know the spot. You don't, and if you want, you can ask. If you ask me for a spot, I will say, hey, I will bring you along with me if I seem that I can tolerate you. But there's always a handful of spots that are the obvious ones. We're on the way to one of the blatant ones. Like it's a basic, very simple spot. Breaking and entering, there's not a lot of that, and it's a lot of space and some pretty shit in there. So not all spots will last, and there's been spots where I'm like, yeah, no, I'll take a photo of it next week, and it will be gone. But that's just like the psycho-ness of it all. I think that's like comprehensively taking a photo of something for no fucking reason. Like, it's really, because there's no, like, sure, if someone wants to work their ass off and put together a book of some New York City graffiti photography, sure. That is an only potential end goal to any kind of thing. Like, there's no other reason to do this, or like there's no reward, or just the adrenaline of exploring some spot and, you know, finding some random artist that you respect and admire and finding them in a weird place. Certain people painted certain spots last week, so outside of the guy that actually painted the building, very few people know anything about the spot, and we're kind of in that, like, there's a handful of people that know. So we called up some buddies and said, hey, go paint that shit because it's sitting there waiting. And so there's not too many people that really are that current, like, or that well connected with some of these people, because we told those people last week and they painted that shit 2 hours later, you know. I mean, it's in broad daylight. So but so now we'll go and shoot that, and, you know, just because, you know, we're OCD about it. And so that spot that we just left, I think 8 or 9, I mean, try 10 people know of it. 5 guys that painted it, and then 5 of us photo nerds. And the goal, and some people's goal, is to keep that spot just to the 10 of us for whatever reason. But I think, you know, because it's got more space to paint, you know, there's more potential over there, so might as well keep it cool, don't say nothing about the spot, and let whoever can with a spray paint go over and paint the shit more, and we'll go back and shoot it again, and, or, you know, and that's what we'll do, you know, and just repeat different spots. So there's, like I mentioned, last week a guy was in town from California, he painted this shit in Red Hook. We've been there 10 times, but we're gonna go back and just shoot the shit that we know was updated, and maybe probably along the way we'll find something else that's new, and that's that. Let's see, flashlights. I think we have 4 flashlights. That will be okay. Again, this in case someone gets nervous. It's my nervous pills.
What is? Tell me what you can about the spot.
Yeah, it's a place that I had never been before until a couple weeks ago.
What kind of place is it?
It's a drug rehabilitation psychiatric center. It's like a closed hospital. It goes from a hospital to a police detective station to like an active area. It's not gonna last long. Someone told 2 people removed, said, hey, this is the location, don't tell anyone because it will get spoiled, and then
I don't want to give the entrance to this, so me and 10 of my buddies take the same photos and just run through there in the next month, and then we'll it won't be any fun. We'll leave it alone and have, because all 3 guys I'm going with today will paint the shit out of this place.
Look at the maps, so you know where you are. Help you figure out the maps.
That one says dead end.
Gotta get my bearings. Oh my god. Oh, that's the costume. No. Beautiful. Oh, that's more out. They're up there.
What is this?
Oh. That's fun.
From the 70s?
Usually 84 or 83, I guess. So they say. I can show you that there's it'll maybe take you a minute to find that little link.
Where'd you go?
Okay, so not last week, but the week before, we brought Curve here for the first time. So this guy. And I was in a rush when I had to leave, so I didn't shoot it last night. Last week we were in here and we were kind of, looking around the spot, and it took the guys an hour to finally get out a damn can of spray paint. And Curve comes over, he's like, "Hey, Clubs, let's tag right here." And it was like a dating, courting service, and it finally took them an hour to start painting together. And this is it. The first time Clubs and Curve have ever painted together. It's ironic to hurry up already. I'm I gotta get out of here in 3 hours. You guys just wasted half the day. Where are we gonna start? I might just fucking start painting shit, /exit. There we go.
Watch out for the raccoon shit.
Yeah, everywhere. Let's see.
All right, so hello, my name is Luna Park. I've been documenting graffiti and street art for 10 years this year. There's a nice little underpass here in the corner of the park that I haven't checked out in a year or two. I can't remember the last time I was here. And some nice production pieces. So I'm hoping there will be something of a nice caliber for us to see today. I've always had a camera since I was a kid, but I had sort of put it away or really only taken pictures when I was going on vacation. And so You know, graffiti found me at a moment in my life where I had been in sort of a creative lull, and it inspired me to pick the camera up again, and not only pick it up, but take it with me everywhere. So this, as far as I know, used to be part of a rail line that goes all the way to the river in this direction, and in this direction, I think part of it has been turned into like one of those like rail to trail, rail to trail. Yeah, I think it's the Putnam line. Don't quote me on that. Look at it on the map. Although maybe we shouldn't say where we are. I discovered graffiti in 2005 at the same time I discovered Flickr. So for me, graffiti, street art, social media are intertwined in a way that I think people that experience graffiti and graffiti culture pre-2000 have an entirely different experience. But for me, Flickr was really was where I got my graffiti education. In the beginning, it was a very solitary experience. I mean, and that was part of the appeal. I was like, you know, come home from work, you know, be annoyed, and to just like go out with my camera and look at walls and walk through neighborhoods, some of which I'd never been to before, was like a real great way just to kind of shut off. And it was, you know, it became addictive. It was a kind of I like to call it a sort of like walking meditation, just like being out and being aware of your surrounding and just paying attention to walls. So I don't feel like I need to like prove myself any harder than anyone. I mean, I'm in this whole game for the love of graffiti and for having fun in my free time. So yes, trespassing occasionally can be fun, but
This is Fame City. I mean, it goes by a lot of different names. I've always known it by that name, but it's a pretty cool spot. Look, there's a nice overcast right now. Look, perfect. Look, nice overcast. I mean, but this whole place used to be filled, but like the walls are deteriorating in the back. This is a nice revenge piece. Like a lot of Connecticut history like happened here, you know, like the crews that painted here. I'm not even from Connecticut. I just like, you know, I like the history. Like every city's got their own like pocket of history, you know, like the crews and stuff. Such a famous spot. You see the wall deteriorating? Like, look at these are layers of paint. Look at this. It's insane. You know how many like generations of like pieces are on here? Look at this. Shit is crazy. Look, you're gonna see a whole piece. Watch, I'm gonna flip it over. Actually, no, it's buff. Looks like. But it's like, yeah, I found some good stuff. Look, you can peel back the layers because of the heat. Look. It's crazy. It's like archaeology. More of the character. Yeah, but honestly, like the best thing about like just like going out is when you come across like a wall, no matter where it is, that's like was covered up for decades, and they take the sign down and doing construction or something, and then they reveal like stuff that was covered up. Like they could come down here and just do a fresh coat of like cement over this, and it could be covered for like decades, like a century, and then maybe something happens, the wall falls down, and all that stuff is going to be shown. This is a nice piece. Sub. Yeah, there's a group called DF. Pretty dope. I'm gonna flick this.
So what's this you're shooting?
This is Zine, part of IMOC. It's cool, you don't get to see too much new stuff. When I started, you know, and back then it was just Flickr. And you know, you say, hey, hey, where's that, where's this? And no one's telling you. So it's like, okay, I gotta figure it out on my own. You know, no one's gonna hand all this information to you and tell you exactly where to go. You kind of got to figure it out on your own and just go explore, and a lot of research. I mean, that's how I got going. I mean, I didn't talk to anyone for first, you know, a couple years probably. You know, just all these places are sensitive, and so not giving out any information of where it is, not only just by naming it, but even within the photo. I mean, I would like to maybe take a little bit more contextual shots, but you know, the background is going to be a giveaway, or even the track rails. So, you know, so that people may not know where it is, and you know, you don't want to give the spots away, just even within the shot.
It's got an actor. He's pretty dope. He's from upstate New York. This guy's Cent. C-E-N-T. He's good dudes. They're like the generation keeping the you know, the scene alive. You know, like keeping graffiti in, you know, in certain areas that, you know, a lot of you know, there's not many writers around as much in certain areas where these guys are from. I go on missions sometimes thinking I'm gonna find something that no one's found before, and I won't find anything, but I'll find like a lake, or I'll find like a tree or something. One time I found like some like paintings from like the 70s, just like with a paintbrush. It was like a Caribbean scene, and I was like, that made my day.
What was this?
I have no idea. Let me see how it looks. Yo, look, warning, Chester the molester.
I think this serious.
We'll come down this way. This was someone's bed. Look at this shit says. Look. The doors. Jim Morrison. That's Jim Morrison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, he had his bell. Look at his bell. Zappa. Frank Zappa. The tags are so old. Look. Spike 1982. Is that what this is? That shit's old. See, look. Some original Taki 183. Smith saying. Some other old tags over here. Sinbad. Look, dude, someone tried chopping this wall out. I wonder what they were looking for. I'm all about the history, you know. Like I like discovering and like digging up like old tags that like even the old guys they don't even remember half them. Like if you were to show this to him, I mean I'm sure he remembers, but like I mean that shit's old. You know, before I was born. Most likely, I was born in '81, but no, the history's dope. You know, longevity. You know how long you know your shit can last for, and the impact that you could have on new generations. You know. So yeah, the history. Trying to think. Like I'm learning as I'm going. I was born in '81. You know, like the history is sort of new to me in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't sell myself short and say I just started last week. You know, I pick up history as I go. You know, like today tomorrow I might learn something I had no idea about, but it was under my nose the whole time. So, like I love like this. You know, anytime you see some old like. Or something that's being demolished, you know, you just look in and to see what's being unearthed underneath that wall, you know.
And then COVID came. The coronavirus, lockdown, stay in place, work from home, essential workers, 6 feet apart, vaccination cards. These words seem a million miles away now. For a while, the world seemed to stop. But not for the graffiti writers or the photographers. For them, this was paradise.
Where I'm trying to get is right over there. I mean, there might not even be anything there, but nice quiet place. I like going on the tree trunks to clear my mind. But like I said, it's not my favorite place to shoot. I don't think the photographs of the garbage freights really look that good, so I don't do it too much. I prefer to be on a busy street. I'll walk right up to people, or if they're in front of graffiti, I'll take their picture. When I see photo shoots like this, I bomb them. I just go right up on them and steal the model. That's why I hang out in Soho a lot. It's good for that. This one right here is not really my style, but there's a nice little truck right there. Let's do a photo. I have my biases. I do judge somewhat. I do judge, but without insulting anyone, I'll just say that just because I post it on my page doesn't mean I'm a fan of it. Not at all. My personal graffiti preference is very strict. I get criticized for posting out-of-town writers a lot, but then when I post a local writer, people talk shit on my page like, why are you posting him? He fucked my girl, they crying, he's an asshole. And I'm not a moral judge of anyone. I don't post people and do background checks on their moral character. I don't care. I couldn't care less who did what, if he beat you up or whatever. I don't care. If it's on the wall, I post it. You know. And, yeah. So you can't please people. People are going to be unhappy no matter who you post. Like Coke, for example, is a very polarizing figure, right? I post it every chance I get. I post Cole. I don't care what anybody, you know, whatever his business is. That's not my business. I don't know him. I don't care. You know, I like when people. If I post Cole, if people talk shit on the comments, I like it. It's good for the algorithm. So I thank you all. So, I'm not here to judge anybody. I don't know anybody's personal business. It's not my business. A lot of times we all photograph the same piece, but the photos all look a little bit different. So, you know, I still think it's worth it. But you know, I used to try to run out and get the newest and best piece before anyone. But I don't do that so much anymore. I don't really do that like I used to. Now I just kind of let it happen. It's like a little more organic. I don't rush out to the spot like I used to. But if it's certain writers, I will get there quick. So we'll go back down this way. I was doing fixie videos for a while, and I was doing it during COVID. I was riding up Broadway the wrong way with not a car in sight. You know, just shooting those videos. I put some on my YouTube channel, and some media people from UK reached out and asked me if they could use my footage to document COVID. So, sure. When everything locked down, the streets just became empty, and it was basically everybody who was not a New Yorker, they left, and the city just became a ghost town. But I was out there every day. I mean, and you would see other photographers out there. The streets were so empty that you would only see photographers and media people. I was seeing media people in full hazmat suits, like with the masks and the face shields and everything going around. It was crazy. People were wearing the astronaut suits. The writers were out heavy. Had a lot of, it was a renaissance, I believe. It was a lot of old school writers came out. It was like lawlessness. It was not even, it was allowed pretty much. It was the plywood summer. The plywood summer. All the buildings were filled with plywood, and they were just getting destroyed every day. So it was a fun time to go out and take photographs, So.
Hang on. I'll get to talking in a second. Sorry. I love shooting around this area because there's a lot to look at besides graffiti. Whether it's people or streetscape, there's food. I'm always drawn back here. As much as I've liked shooting abandoned buildings and like really crappy, out of the way locations, there's something about the Lower East Side that keeps me coming back. I get out here to shoot, maybe once a week on average. Sort of a cyclical thing. For a while, especially during and after the pandemic, I was shooting every day for hours. And then I had kids. And now I'm not shooting that much anymore. But as I'm sure other people have told you, once you learn about graffiti and you start seeing graffiti in your environment, you can't unsee it. And you're always going to be curious about it. And you're always going to want to see more. Unless you're just totally over it. I don't know. I can't ever see myself being over graffiti, because as long as it's there, it's going to be attractive to me. I'll always prefer a nice hand style to a clean wall. When I first started shooting graffiti, I just noticed it around New York City, but very quickly, within a few years, I made connections with people from all over the place, all over the US and other countries. And so whenever I went traveling, I also started looking for graffiti. And because at that point, I was still a little more untethered.
I started to travel just to shoot graffiti. First in Europe, and then because of my wife's family is from Korea, also all across Asia. And that's something that I still do very actively whenever I travel. I remember seeing this guy up in the pandemic zoot in my own neighborhood. He just had a couple of high spot throw-ups. His throw-ups might be simple, but they're very legible. And you can see it's a zoot from a mile away. So in that sense, goal achieved. That's a funny dude. Someone who does not do traditional, he does do traditional graffiti in the way that he does it, but in appearance it's not. But again, very effective and very recognizable. When I first started, almost 20 years ago, and I didn't really know anything about it. It was an excuse for me to get out of the house, to see different neighborhoods in the city, to explore. Back then, Williamsburg was just starting to get gentrified and was still kind of wild. Bushwick was pretty wild. The different city neighborhoods looked very differently. So it was a way to get to know the city and at the same time start learning a new language and use photos to communicate with people on a platform like Flickr. And nowadays, I just enjoy the meditative aspect of walking around and kind of reading the city. Hours can go by in a flash when you're just walking and looking for tags and stickers and throw-ups. This is cool. Attic and Scuff next to each other on one door. Not intentionally, or not, obviously not together probably, but sharing a spot here. Two of the greats. That's Sir Carl, one of the people who brought weird graffiti to New York and made it cool, even though some people might disagree. Weird graffiti, that's cool. Wombat, 100%. She's absolutely killing it. Probably one of the most upriders in New York City of the last, post-pandemic age. This is a cool spot. It kind of encapsulates post-pandemic New York City graffiti. What's interesting about our current wave of rappel graffiti is that, unlike Pichação from Brazil, it's intricate. It's doing pieces on the wall, doing clean straight letters, trying to be as neat as possible and cover as much wall space as possible, and still not getting caught and getting away with it. Really going from turning the city to your advertising billboard on the street level, where it's easily erased, to taking over walls high up where no one can get to them very easily. This stuff's been running for a few years, and I can see this running, for another decade unless this building gets developed. Homesick's another guy who does not do traditional New York graffiti. He has 6 spots, intricate rollers, to the point where no one else does it as well. He might not be doing very traditional New York throw-ups or New York straight piece and not have New York hand style, but he does stuff that no one else can do. So in my mind, he is doing exactly what graffiti should aspire to. Some of the photographers I used to know back in the day have stopped shooting. Some of them just don't shoot as much anymore. I'm sure everyone's circumstances are different. And as I mentioned, it's very cyclical. Right now, I'm at a time where my kids are small and they need a lot of attention. In another 5 years, I might be able to go out every day again and shoot graffiti. And if I can, I'll probably do that because it's not the kind of thing that ever gets old. And then I'll probably make more zines again. I've been making zines since high school, kind of punky poetry kind of zines. So I had an understanding for the process. I had friends who made zines, and I loved the DIY nature of it. And then when I got more and more into graffiti, I started picking up graffiti zines. So my first zine in, I think, 2011, Grilled One, was all doors, lots and lots of tags. I haven't been making as many zines just because it's a time issue. I will make more in the future, no doubt, because I'm sitting on tons of material. It's cool. It's Shimmy sticker. I love that when these guys come to town, they'll still leave a bunch of stickers all over the place. These are handmade eggshells. They're not printed eggshells. Everyone is different. They last forever. I like Saver Sand too. I feel like it goes a little bit back to what I was saying about once you start seeing graffiti and being able to read it, you can't unsee it. And in a similar sense, that fascination to want to document graffiti, I don't think goes away. I think it changes shape over the years, and our ability to keep up with it might fluctuate. But the basic desire to just want to be out of the house on the street and seeing things and experiencing things for yourself and not on your phone never goes away. The same thing happens in music too. And partly it's just the kind of times we're in now, where we are being taught that we need to promote ourselves relentlessly. But as a photographer and documentarian, it behooves us to remember that we are completely inconsequential without our subjects. And that if we stop tomorrow, there's a good chance that most people won't notice. That's how it is. It's cool.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe it's been 10 years since the last time we got together.
What's been going on at the Iron Triangle, you know?
They've like really started working since then. Back then I was going, you know, Dan, Steve, we were going like every weekend. And there was always like new stuff there. I guess like right around when COVID started, like a little bit after that, they really took down like a lot of it, just paved it out. And I think they're doing like a big park or something there, or like a soccer stadium. So I'm gonna drone this, I don't even know if you could see it from the ground. It's maybe from the street, but it's like kind of blocked, but it's this billboard. I think it's just a sick spot. Usually like, especially since getting the drone, stuff like billboards and the rappel stuff it's like hella fun to just shoot on the drone. So I think, you know, that's kind of what it's made for. And Zuan, the writer on there, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, I never know, but he's killing it right now. He's got dope style, so. It takes like 10 years to get signal. Another thing is I never did video before like COVID or anything. That's like something I've only started in the last like 2 years. I guess partially because that's kind of like, you know, photos are kind of not the preferred method anymore. Try not to crash this thing. I've definitely done that a few times. Like the new ones have like crash sensors and shit. This is just the cheapest one at the time, a couple of years ago. We had Dan's drone landed once on a roof in Sunset Park, just out of nowhere, and we had to sneak in the building, climb up to the roof, and get the drone back. It was crazy. There's a couple rappels and 2 pieces on the roof. Like you could probably see the top of the E over there. That dude EXR, and like a couple of dudes from out of town. You can only get like some of them from the ground, so get a better shot now. It's a nice day. The sun's on them. Should be pretty good. I'm actually gonna get these too. I've flicked these with my normal camera, but yeah, so these bad boys. I like to do like these like slow YouTube clips with like chill music. So that's like my, well, because that's kind of like, you know, he kind of mentioned it before, like it's like a therapy thing for me going out to shoot. So, you know, just I get a lot of anxiety just in daily life. So it's kind of like when I come out to shoot, it's like nothing else matters. We're just chilling. I usually try to listen. Everyone always jokes when I go around with people, but I keep like super mellow, like lo-fi in the car at all times, and just try to keep it like super, just relaxing. You know, it's like hella early in the morning. I'm not an early morning person, so the rappel scene's been going like just exploding over the last few years. I think like, I guess the earlier ones around here over the like recently were like that dude XSM, Rams, MSK, Notice, and Qzar. Like those kind of like 4 dudes I saw like just doing like a ton. I just think it's cool because it's like a lot of spots that, you know, are essentially fresh walls, never been painted really. And you know, these dudes are just getting crazier and crazier like with what they're doing too. Like the complexity of these pieces and stuff. I have shots of these from the ground, but you know, the drone's already in the air, so I'm like, might as well take some like extra flicks. Gotta watch out for the birds, man, when you fly these. Had a collision with one on like Canal Street, like probably like 6 or 7 months ago, and my memory card fell out of my drone. It landed somewhere on Canal. I have, you know, Canal. There's so much shit over there. There's no way to get it back. I looked around for like an hour. I couldn't find it. I think as long as people are willing to like risk their freedom to write on shit, like I think it's important to cover it, you know? Like even with Graff and this, there's like not, you know, yeah, I guess Graff you can get a following and sell like art and stuff, but it's really not like, the risks always like are way worse than the rewards, and it's just like as long as people are willing to do that for the sake of the name or fame or whatever they get out of it, like I just think it's important that there are people there to like actually cover it too.